Welcome to a special edition of Tide Talk with Webb. Lock up your daughters, lock up your wives. Joey Freshwater's hitting town. Now, you may say, what is Joey Freshwater? Well, last year in Tuscaloosa, reports had surfaced that Lane Kiffin was hitting on college co-eds at some of the bars and dropping Jaeger bombs, and he kept telling people his name was Joey Freshwater. Like, really? Like, you're offensive coordinator at Alabama, one of the most prominent schools in the country in college football, and you're 40 years old hitting on girls that are 18 to 21, saying you're Joey Freshwater. You should have just said your name was Joey Coolwater. Remember that cologne we all wore in the early 2000s, the end of high school, and we thought it smelled good and you could buy it at Goodies for next to nothing because we thought we'd get some finger play out of it? Yeah. Well, instead, this guy goes with the name Joey Freshwater. The mythical Tide character, this Joey Freshwater, came about because there was a Reddit post. A co-ed at Alabama had said that somebody on Tinder going by the name of Joey Freshwater kept hitting on her, and it looked just like Lane Kiffin. He kept saying, "Oh, I'm not Lane Kiffin, I'm not Lane Kiffin," as it turned out it was. And, you know, back in the day, you had guys like Joe Namath who would run around all the local watering holes and, you know, wear fur coats and hit on all the ladies. Now, granted, I don't think that's the only holes Joe was wearing out, if you know what I mean. But you know, back then you didn't have all the media and stuff like that. You had guys like Michael Irving and Lawrence Taylor who would hit the town pretty hard and heavy. You know, even John Madden, this big mythology or myth around the Oakland Raiders back in the day, because they play hard, but they party just as hard. But you didn't have social media to put it out there like you have today. You know, nowadays you got Rob Gronkowski running around chugging beers shirtless and hanging out with adult film stars. You know, the New York Giants had a infamous Miami boat party, you know. But the world that we live in of Twitter and Instagram, it's kind of hard to get away with that stuff now. Like I said, the first rumblings were about a year ago in a Tuscaloosa bar. But, you know, even back in the day when Kiffin was at Tennessee, he supposedly had an apartment that was for recreational use there. Layla Kiffin was unaware, according to reports that have surfaced back in the day when people have asked her about it. That could have been some of the reason they got divorced as well. But, you know, a lot of these stories are popping up that he's got fake Tinder accounts trying to hit on these young girls and stuff. So maybe it works. I don't know. You know, there's also reports that Terry Saban is really pissed off, you know, or was pissed off at Lane for doing some of this stuff when all this stuff kind of came out. But who knows? I don't know if this is totally true. That's just things that I'm seeing. You know, who knows? You know, he's kind of a brash and cocky guy anyway, you know, because he was firing shots across the bow at Urban Meyer and Nick Saban back when he was at Tennessee. So we don't know. Anything this guy does, it really doesn't surprise me. He's always kind of been a PR disaster. But just that name, Joey Freshwater, that just absolutely kills me. And then, you know, he gets the FAU job, and he's got more pictures out there of him with some young college co-eds at a bar, looking like a 40-year-old, you know, dad. He's got the dad get up with the jeans and a tucked-in polo shirt. I don't even think he was wearing a belt in that photo. But I did get some disguises that he was using. I found some pictures online. This is the one he was using in Alabama. And supposedly girls didn't know it was him. That's one of the disguises he was using. I got the other one here when he was at Tennessee. I think this is the main one he was using at Tennessee on his Tinder profile back in the day. I don't know if it scored him any play, but kudos to him. Because, you know, if I was a co-ed, I would have no clue that's Lane Kiffin. So, yeah, the guy's amazing, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the disaster that is Lane Kiffin. But we'll see. Maybe he'll pull it off. I don't know. Maybe he's scoring lots of tail. Nobody knows that for sure. But anyway, that's been a special edition of Tide Talk with Webb. I'm out.